Hey everybody, it's your pal Jack. How are you? Did you have a great holiday weekend, Labor Day weekend? Maybe you did something fun. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you just relaxed at home. It's all good. It's all good. Labor Day weekend. Uh, Now, some of you had to go back to school. Is that right? And some are going to school like on the computer. So kind of a weird year. And then some of you are, you know, you're too young for school, and that's okay. That's okay to be too young for school. You got plenty of time to go to school. Uh, but what I thought we might do is, we'll uh, take attendance. Do you know what that is? Or call the roll. Have you ever heard of these things? That's when the teacher reads the list of names of the students, and when you hear your name, you say, here. Like if the teacher says, Jack, then I would say, here. A lot of times you raise your hand. Here. Look, there's a clock. uh, so let's do that. And so if I say your name, you can say here, but you don't have to. If you want to say something else, because this isn't school. So if you want to say something silly, you can say flibbly flibbly or 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 chaka 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 or bum dum 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 or you could say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. Okay, let's see. Let's see what. So we'll read the names. We'll read the names. Ryland, Michael, Cassie, Fiona, Patty, June, Kyle, Jack, other Jack, Grace, Siobhan, Satya, Ryan, Truman, Leonora, Logan, Camden, Caroline, Lauren, Robin, Nola, Ella. Okay, now if I didn't say your name, everybody at the same time say here or make a crazy noise. So everyone who I didn't say your name. Ah! Okay. And also, if I didn't say your name and you want me to say your name, just ask your grown up and to let me know. And next week I'll do another. We'll do a special attendance for you. Okay. All right. And just a funny thing. So I have the attendance list on my phone, and right before I started the video, I didn't know where my phone was. I couldn't find my phone. I need my phone for the video, and I and so I stood up, and do you know where the phone was? I was sitting on it. it was on the chair, and I was sitting on my phone. So that's where it was. Um, if you're wondering what's on my shirt, hey, who's that over there? Is a monkey. There's a little. You see in the corner? There's a monkey watching me. Let's see what's on my shirt. There's some letters. What do those letters mean? I don't know. What's that? That is a. What is that? It goes moo. What is that? It's a cow. And what's this? It says woof woof. What's that? That's a dog. And look, I have pointy shoulders. Hi, I'm Pointy Shoulder Man. How are you? And I have a clock growing out of my head. I'm Pointy Shoulder Clock Man. How are you? Good to see you. And there is a monkey. Oh, and look, Snoopy. There's Snoopy. And there's a monkey. All right. I've got a fun book. Oh, you're gonna like this one. Do you know what it is? Guess. Guess what it is. Nope. Nope. No. That's not it. It's Pete the Cat. Checks out the library. Oh, we love Pete the Cat. And who wrote it? It says James Dean. Now, your parents are like, your grandparents especially, they're like, James Dean? He was in the movies when I was a little kid. He was in the movie. No, this is a different James Dean. He writes the words and he draws the pictures. And he came up with Pete the Cat. And I love the library. The one here in Hoboken, fantastic library. And I actually got this book from the library. And, the library hasn't been open, right? But things are slowly getting back to normal. And you can, you can go into the library and they have a, if you ask for a book, they have it for you on a special shelf, and it's very safe, and they only let a couple of people in the library at a time. So we're getting back to normal, but I was so happy to be back in the library because, like, first, I have great friends there, Miss Ashley, Mr. Adam, great librarians, so nice. And also, like, the books are my friends too, just like you are all my friends. The books are my friends, so it made me feel good to be inside the library. And I got this book from the library, so let's take a look at Pete the Cat Checks Out the Library. There's the cover again. He's hanging out with, who's that? Who's that? Oh, it's an owl. Oh, and he's reading a book called Zoom, which looks like it's about cars. But isn't that funny? Because I bet your parents are spending a lot of time. You hear this word a lot, Zoom, because they're on the computer, and maybe you've even been on Zoom on the computer. So that's kind of funny. All right, let's see what happens in this book. Pete's mom, there's Pete's mom, is taking him to the library for the first time. Do you remember the first time you went to the library? Maybe you've never been to the library. Maybe your first time is coming up. The librarian gives Pete his very own library card. Wow. Cool, says Pete. The librarian smiles. There's the librarian. Time for the tour. The librarian takes Pete through the library. There is a big desk where people wait to check out their books. So you can't just take a book from the library and run out the door. No, you have to you go to the desk or to a computer, and so they know who has which books. And so when you're done, you bring it back to the same place. Checkouts. and returns. Pete sees some of his friends reading at a long table. It's very peaceful and quiet. How relaxing. That's one thing about the library. It's quiet. It's quiet. But you know what's not quiet? This video story time, we don't have to be quiet. So if you want to say, "Ah, booga 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 booga, ay, ay," you can do that if you want to. Okay, but don't scare your dog or parrot or anything. You know. Okay. The librarian takes Pete to her favorite room. There are a lot of Pete-sized chairs and tables and shelves. There are books of every shape, size, and color. Look at this. Look at this. The Hoboken Library has a room like this. Every library has a room like this. So you don't have to sit, you don't have to sit in a big grown-up chair and the table is way above your head and I want my book. I want my book, but I can't reach it. No, everything is kid size. I think that's great. What do I do now? Pete asks. Now you read a book, the librarian says. But which book should I read? Look, Pete. You can read any book you like, says the librarian. Pete looks around. There are so many books. Look, even I have a lot of books up over there. That's one of my bookshelves. I have books all over the place. Yeah, books, floor, a lot of books. All right, so Pete picks up a book all about airplanes and jets and rockets. And then what does he do? He uses his what? Not his forehead. He uses his imagination. Look at that. He reads it and pretends he's a stunt pilot. He flies a super fast jet. And he does loop-de-loops. Woo! 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 And spirals. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. High in the sky. Then Pete finds a book with dragons and wizards and unicorns on the cover. So he starts using his imagination. He reads it and imagines that he is a powerful wizard using magic spells. Alakazam, alakazoo. And a special wand. I had that special wand the other week, but I threw it across the room, and I'm still waiting for my chihuahua to bring it back. Here, boy, here. Bring the wand. Bring the wand. It's not coming. All right. But Pete uses the wand to defend, to protect the castle against a fire-breathing dragon. And when do dragons breathe fire? Do we know when does that happen? That's right, if they eat spicy salsa, because they love tacos. Remember that? That's a different book. Different author. Different. It wasn't James Dean. It was different people. That was a good book too, though, right? Dylan? Is Dylan watching? Dylan? Here? Not here? Next, Pete opens up a book about spiders and insects. He reads it and imagines he's a scientist and that he's studying all different types of critters in the wild. So you could read about different jobs that you might want to do. That's a thing to do. Now he has to be very still to study some of the critters, is to get up very close. And then very fast to study some others. What's that? You know what that is. That's right. A butterfly. Oh. Then Pete chooses a book with all sorts of scary monsters on the cover. It's a book of fairy tales. Look at that, he's reading monsters. Pete reads it and he pretends that he's in a dark, spooky forest, trying to outsmart the big bad wolf. Who does Pete look like there? Who said it? That's right. That's right, he looks like Little Red Riding Hood. And look. Did you see that monkey? Pete puts the book back on the shelf. It's too scary. That book was too scary. You don't have to like every book. You try a book. If you don't like it, put it back. Find one that you like. Right? All right. Next, Pete opens up a book about the pyramids in Egypt. That's a country far away. Farther away than Pennsylvania. He reads this book and pretends that he is an explorer riding a camel across the desert. And climbing to the top of a giant pyramid. Meow. Next, Pete picks up a book with all sorts of robots on the cover. He reads this one. He imagines that he's a robot at a robot dance party. His arms and legs make whizzing sounds when he moves. And when Robot Pete speaks, he says, bleep, bloop, bleep. I am a robot. I am a robot. Beep, boop, 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 beep, boop, beep, boop, boop, robot cat. Meow, meow. Boop, boop, beep, boop, 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 beep, boop, 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 boop. It's fun to pretend you're a robot. Oh, but next, Pete picks up a book about superheroes. He reads it and makes believe he is a superhero. Da, 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 Super Cat. Da, 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 da. He flies around the city in a colorful cape. Look at that nice cape. And he chases bad guys and saving the day. So here's a bad kitty. Bad kitty who's trying to take money from the bank. And Super Pete says, "Stop! Stop, citizen!" Then Pete spots a big book about the ocean and all of the sea creatures. He reads it and imagines that he's a scientist in a submarine. Do you know what a submarine is? It's like a boat, but that can go under the water. So it's deep in the Atlantic Ocean. I think most of you know we're very close to the Atlantic Ocean here in Hoboken, but some of you might be close to the Pacific Ocean. But he's looking for whales, squids, and sharks. What's that? Who's that? Remember we read about that shark the other week? That shark who was going to school? What was his name? Sharky? I forget already. What was his name? Toothy? What was his name? Muggsy? I forget his name. All right. One more page. All right. There are so many. This is so true. So many wonderful books to read at the library. Pete can be whatever he imagines with a book. Reading is super groovy. That's so true. A library card, it's like a magic key, and you can open up the door to any world, any magical world, any place in the world, in the universe that you could dream of. There's books about it, and going to the library, that's how you find it. Even if you can only go to the library on the computer right now. So, I thought that was a great book. Pete the Cat. Again, I got this book from the library. Great. Thank you, library. And thank you. Oh, did you see I got a haircut? I don't know. Last week, my hair was big, and I thought about getting a haircut. And I did. Pasquale gave me a nice a haircut. They said, a little, how much you want? Over here and over here. Yes, okay. It looks very nice. So thank you, Pasquale. Grazie. And thank you all for listening. I love it every week when we get together. So have a great week. Be well. Have fun. And see you next week.